Today we're going to be exploring the main parts of Roma.
And we are starting with the Colosseum. It's pretty early this morning. We've started at about 7 a.m. We made our way out to a central bus stop and we are just about 5 more stops away from reaching the Colosseum. We're just waiting for a bus. But it's so nice. Today is a busy work day, so there's a lot of traffic.
Tickets for this Colosseum runs out pretty early, but we were lucky enough and we got a ticket for today and it cost us 18 euros per person.
Yeah, so the ticket actually gives us access to a bunch of different places, but the main one that we're really curious to see is the Colosseum. The Colosseum is one of the wonders of the world. It's been standing for a very long time, so we're really curious to see it because we've seen it all over the internet, in documentaries, and so many references in popular culture.
And even over the last 2 days, we have been seeing it while we are going on the bus. We would just pass by it on the side and we would be like, wow, when are we going to go there? And today is the day.
Look at that. We finally made it to the Colosseum.
Steps are so steep. We can't believe that we're actually walking inside the Colosseum, which is almost 2,000 years old.
It was supposedly built in 72 AD and it took only 8 years to finish construction, which seems pretty quick considering the size of this. It's really huge. And it was originally built to have seating capacity between 50 and 65,000 people.
And you know what's interesting? They could make all these 50,000 people leave the Colosseum within a few minutes.
Yeah.
They had designed the exit entrance in such a nice way.
So all of these arches that we're actually standing around, like this colonnaded pathway, it used to be numbered. So if anybody got a ticket to come inside to watch a show or watch an event inside the Colosseum, they would be given tickets that would say, this is the pillar number. So when they would come, they would find the pillar and sit on the seats just outside the pillar.
So all the important people would sit very close to where the action was happening, and then the people would sit on the top.
We also learned that women were not considered very important, so they were being pushed up further away from where all the action was. The action was definitely in the arena. So today we can actually see a part of the arena that used to be underground. So on top there was actually a layer which is where all the fights and the events used to take place. And the portion of the underground place that we can actually see is where the gladiators, the animals, the victims, those who would get punishment, all of these people are actually standing there. So they would come out of little pathways onto the ground and then the event would begin.
We are touching something which is 2,000 years old. Entering the arena, the main place of action, and we are right now on the second level.
So all of this was the underground level. So this is where people, animals, the gladiators, everybody would come, gather, and then they would come out through the inner passages to a gate that led them onto the floor here. So that stage you see there, that is exactly how it would have looked all over, with sand covering it. And there would be seats on all these levels, going all the way to the very top.
imagine 50,000 people sitting all around this big amphitheater, shouting and cheering for the action which would happen there, right at the center. On the walls, we see there are a few poles and groups. These used to actually hold bronze statues and sometimes even medals and trophies. Well, over the years, people have stolen it and gone, but what remains is the stars of them. We can still see where they were actually kept.
There's a lot of money thrown here. We have now exited the Colosseum and we're walking up to the Forum and Palentine Hill.
To be honest, the Colosseum actually looks so much better from the outside than the inside. But when you're standing right at the center and in one of the higher levels, the inside part also looks really, really grand.
Yeah, it's actually very massive. Totally didn't expect to see. We're now walking down the Roman Forum and the church bells are all ringing out loud. We just learned that the Forum was actually the area where all the common Roman people gathered. It was a place where there was commerce, there was business, there was art, there was a lot happening here. And from up on the Palentine Hill, the royal folks would look down at the peasants and the common people who were actually down below in the Forum.
These were the same streets which were walked upon by Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar. These were the same roads. So whenever the Romans would win a war, they would march down on this road. It's like the Royal Mile, I guess. And they have big, big pillars on both its sides. We had to try the lemon flavored gelato in Italy. And this is the first time we have got it. Every time we usually get tiramisu or chocolate.
Yeah, so we decided to get lemon because we've been hearing about this from so many people.
It's just so nice. It's like having lemon soda in the form of an ice cream.
As Shish usually says, it's juicy and tangy.
Okay, we have come to the most popular spot in Rome, that is the Trevi Fountain.
A few quick facts about the Trevi Fountain that we just learned. So this fountain was actually built in the 1760s, so it's been around for a long time. And the water supply here, though, is coming from an aqueduct that was built over 2,000 years ago.
And it's still active today, and that's how the water is flowing even now.
This water actually used to be part of the supply system to ancient Rome. It's almost 26 meters tall, 50 meters wide, and the god in between, that's actually a Roman god called Oceanus, and he has two horses, one on either side, one being calm, the other being chaotic, basically to show water and nature is unpredictable.
There's this tradition that if you throw one coin into the pond, you will come back to Rome. If you throw 2 coins, you'll find love. And like this, over a year, they collect almost 1.5 million euros.
That's a rich fountain. We have now made it to the Spanish Steps. This is actually the last spot we wanted to see in the city of Rome, and we finally made it here. There's a beautiful fountain right behind us.
And most of them are just sitting around the fountain having some food, which makes me even more hungrier.
There's a church up there, it's a French church. The piazza down here is Spanish, that's why they call it the Spanish Steps. There's also the Spanish embassy right here. But it's 135 steps and we're gonna climb it up. The view from the top of the Spanish Steps is really nice. We also got to see the setting sun, the Roman skyline behind, and it was very beautiful.
And now we're heading back. As the sun sets, the temperature is also falling. I'm feeling much cooled up.
Yeah, and we are super hungry because we didn't really get to eat much food today. We were hoping to find some delicious pasta, but the prices in the city center, like around the attractions we saw today, it's crazy high. Like a small bowl of pasta is like 15 euros, which didn't make sense to us.
So now we're heading back to our room, which is in the outskirts of Rome. So that means the food there is much more affordable. So we're gonna go there and maybe buy a pizza. Or if we get pasta, maybe get a pasta also.
So this was our 3 days in Rome. We absolutely enjoyed it, but we are now eager to move on to the next place to explore a little bit more of Italy. So in the next vlog, what is that? I don't know that.
I'm leaning.
Oh, I see. There's a hint right there. So we'll see you in the next vlog. Bye. Back in the day, there used to be lions, tigers, and elephants, and all these crazy wild creatures. And today, there is the most dangerous seagull.
It's safari time.